Hey, it's Katie, and this week was such an exciting week for Xena fans, and I'm sure you guys have been seeing it all over the internet. I could not believe that Xena was trending on Twitter. Honestly, I never thought I would see the day that Xena would be trending on Twitter, and for me that was just such a surreal moment and such a great moment. And just in case you missed it, basically all over the internet, including Entertainment Weekly, Hollywood Reporter, it was everywhere. Everyone was reporting that NBC is in the beginning stages of bringing back Xena Warrior Princess. We don't exactly know if it's a reboot or a revival, but that was the article that went around, and that is so exciting for Xena fans. Now, this all kind of sparked after an interview Lucy did at Comic-Con while she was being interviewed for Ash vs. Evil Dead. She said she wanted to be Xena and that they would be fools not to bring it back. And honestly, I think she started something here, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, these articles came out all over the place, and it was just so exciting to see. And then of course, after all of the hype of seeing these articles everywhere, Lucy Lawless came out with a tweet that said, "Sorry friends, news of a Xena reboot is just a rumor. I'd love it to happen one day, but it's still in the wishful thinking stage." So then Lucy kind of came out and like deflated everyone's hopes and dreams. Like, we were all so excited. But here are my thoughts, because a lot of you have been sending me the articles and asking me what I think. Here goes! I honestly think that this was a media test to gain interest about Xena, because the network probably doesn't think that there's a big fan base out there who would watch it if it was revived or rebooted. So I honestly think it was just a media test to see how many people would actually be excited. And honestly, the Xena fans came through on this one because it was trending on Twitter, trending on Facebook. Everyone picked it up. This is the time to bring back Xena, and I think the entire internet agreed. So in honor of all of the Xena craziness that's been going on this week, today on Katie's Take 5 Friday, I'm going to be counting down the top 5 reasons why Xena needs to come back. So for this video, I teamed up with some of my friends who run the Xena movie campaign, and they have been struggling for so long to get the attention of a network or of the creators or whoever owns the rights for Xena to try to convince them that there are enough fans out there that want a Xena movie, want a reboot, want a revival. We just want Xena. And the Xena movie campaign has been an awesome resource for Xena fans of all kinds to band together and hopefully convince whoever owns the rights that we want more Xena. So starting us out at number 5, it is a medieval fantasy, action-adventure, sometimes sci-fi show, but according to the Xena theme song, In a Time of Ancient Gods is actually when Xena took place. Being someone who's always been a fan of mythology and medieval fantasy, action-adventure, Xena was my very favorite show growing up, and still probably my very favorite show ever. And right now, and probably thanks to Game of Thrones, medieval fantasy is coming back and coming back strong, and all these people who never used to watch medieval fantasy are now watching it and loving it, and I think it's a really awesome time for medieval fantasy lover dorks like me. And I just think Xena Warrior Princess being this medieval fantasy action-adventure show would fit in amazingly right now on network television, and we need it. We need it. Number 4. Fight sequences. Xena had some of the best fight sequences ever, and not to mention, it was kind of one of the first shows to ever have a group of women fighting, and fighting each other, fighting other people. For me, growing up watching Xena, the coolest thing for me was watching a female be able to fight, and a group of females like the Amazons coming together and fighting together. To me, that was really cool. That's a really awesome message, and I just absolutely love the way that women got to fight just like the men on that show, and they got to do just as cool things as anyone else could do. It was great.
Women who are strong and can kick butt and think on their feet, it's all in there.
Number 3, gaining knowledge about history and mythology. Now, growing up, I got all of my mythology knowledge from Xena Warrior Princess, which is probably why I'm only like 65% right about mythology most of the time, because the TV show was very influenced by history and mythology, and Xena is the reason why I was so interested in Greek, Roman mythology, Egyptian mythology, all mythology and history growing up, because I would see it on Xena. Xena, and I'd be able to relate it back to whatever I was learning in school at the time. Now, of course, it was not completely accurate on Xena. They took very huge liberties, but at the same time, I gained so much knowledge and an interest for mythology and for history just because they did it on Xena. Number 2, an ensemble cast. Xena had one of the best ensemble casted characters. You had Xena, you had Gabrielle, of course, as your, lead characters, but then they were constantly surrounded by an ensemble of incredible characters.
I think one of the great things about Xena is that they had a lot of variety in the kinds of people that the characters were encountering. So there was just a lot of diversity, which is great.
All the characters were extremely relatable, and to me, what I find really cool is that going to Xena conventions and seeing the actors who maybe were in one episode, like, we know exactly who they are. And yeah, they only did one episode, but they were huge to the plot or huge to the fandom. And to me, that says a lot about the show in itself. If you can be on one episode of a TV show and then forever be remembered by the fandom, that says a lot. And this show had its share of crazy, awesome ensemble characters. So for me, without that ensemble cast, it just wouldn't be the same because it all came together to make this great show. All right, we are down to number 1, and this is kind of a no-brainer one, but this is also a really, really important reason. But the number 1 reason Xena should be brought back to television is because of female heroes. We are in a time right now that we are craving a female hero. We are crying out for a hero. There is so much talk right now about, female superhero action figures and female superheroes getting their own movies. This is a time where we need more female heroes. I honestly think that I would be a different person if I did not grow up with Xena as my hero, because Xena was someone I could look up to and aspire to be like.
Xena came out in a time when I was constantly being told that I needed to act like a man, not always outright, but sometimes in passive-aggressive ways, like from family members with uber macho Christmas presents and birthday presents. Then Xena Warrior Princess came out, and here was this woman who was doing things that the people around me would have said was for men, and I was inspired, and I stopped caring what other people said I should do, and I just started focusing on being myself.
I think it's really important for young people everywhere to have a hero that they can look up to. And for a lot of people, Xena was your hero. And I honestly think she's not done being people's hero. There are so many young people out there that could use this awesome, influential hero. And that's the main reason why I think they should bring back Xena.
Xena the Warrior Princess is a culmination of many things. And I've got a laundry list, you ready? I've got strength, I've got courage, I've got instincts, I've got trusting those instincts, forgiveness, love, communication, and kicking butt when necessary.
It is a great show for today's viewers. It really is. We are ready for this. Like Lucy said, they'd be idiots not to bring it back. Now's the time, and I really think it is awesome that the internet reacted the way that they did, because this is a huge step. I mean, I could be possibly getting my very favorite TV show back. Like, that's insane. I never thought that that could ever happen. I never thought that there would ever be a possibility that Xena would ever come back. And for me, it is a really special thought. It really is. And if it happens, I would flip. Now, I didn't exactly get into whether or not I want it to be rebooted or revived, because obviously we all want Lucy and Renee to be Xena and Gabrielle. That is what we want. That's a no-brainer.
I desperately want to see Lucy Lawless and Renee O'Connor reprise their roles.
I think it should be the old cast to kick it off, at least to kick it off.
But there is a possibility that they want to reboot it, and of course the actors would probably make cameos or be in it, but it is possible that they'll reboot it completely, and it's going to be really tough for us to want to support that, but I really think that we should.
The ending was very traumatizing, and I think before the community of Xenites could fully trust and accept a recasting, they would need to have closure from the original series, because right now, I'll tell you, if I saw a recast Xena and Gabrielle get the ending that original Xena and Gabrielle deserved, I think it would just break my heart all over again.
Lucy's already said that she doesn't want to do a series. But if we could at least either get her to do the movie, her and Renee to do the movie and Friends, and then scoot into, say, the series and then let it go, that would be fabulous.
So that's a really tricky topic that we could discuss at a later time, reboot versus revival. Either way, if it's Xena, I'm in, I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna support it, and I think we should all be there to support it as well. But let's hope it's a revival. Let's hope it actually happens first, and then we can all freak out, get excited, and discuss all the details. But I definitely had to weigh in with my opinions, and thank you so much to Jimmy and Gretchen for giving me your opinions as well. Honestly, it is so great to hear from other Xena fans, and you guys are doing such an awesome job with the Xena movie campaign, so make sure you guys go follow them. I'll put a link in the description below so you guys can check out their page and support. But I want to know from you guys, what would you want to expect from Xena coming back? Would you want a reboot or would you want a revival? And if you happen to not be a Xena fan, let me know what one of your favorite shows is that you wish that someone would bring back. Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hey you, don't go anywhere. Make sure you click that button right there to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my next video. And just in case you missed my last video, click right on over here to check it out.